Good evening, baseball fans. It is Sunday, February 11th. And yes, it is Super Bowl Sunday. And because we are grinding, that is what Kelsey and I are. We are grinders. Technically, Super Bowl is over now, but that's okay. We record another episode during the Super Bowl. That's okay. Again, we are grinders. Super Bowl happened. We're baseball girls. It is official baseball season. Okay. Super Bowl is done. Football is done. Pitchers and catchers report in like 3 days, 4 days. Some of the pitchers and catchers have already reported. Looking at you, Dodgers, Padres. Anyways, this is Bourbon and Baseball. I'm Susie. That is Kelsey. And away we go. Away we go. Like I said, pitchers and catchers report. It is officially baseball season, and I am so excited, Kelsey. Like I can't this season. I'm like renewed of excitement because last baseball season was hard. It was hard on my soul.
It was hard on your soul.
Kelsey's like,
come on now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, before we get into it, hold on. I'm so sorry. Guys, I forgot to give you the warning.
Yeah, you forgot to give you the warning before this.
This is a rated R podcast for all of the expletives, not the adult content that, you have to pay for. Just the 4-letter words. Just the 4-letter words and probably some inappropriate adult humor. I'm so sorry, Kels. So with that said, if there's any tiny ears listening, or you don't like cuss words, you should probably this is not the podcast for you, and I apologize about that. But you do you. If you want your kids to listen to the 4-letter words, by all means. I'm not going to stop you. Not going to stop you. So, but Kels, I know that you watched the Super Bowl halftime show at least.
Oh yeah, no, I watched the national anthem and the halftime show, and I sat and hung out for some commercials, but I didn't really see any that were super great. I was kind of disappointed, but Usher definitely won the Super Bowl for me. My favorite Usher song is Love in This Club, and when he did it with the marching band, that was my favorite part. And I was wildly impressed by, all his dance moves. I think he sang live a lot of it and he sounded really good, but he also roller skated. And I don't know, have you tried to roller skate lately? Because I have, and it is harder than it looks.
Very hard. Very, very hard. That's what she said. And I listen, when Usher came out and then Alicia Keys came out and then Lil Jon and Luda, my elder millennial heart was so excited. I was like, yes. It was like my high school all over again. And then the part where Usher took off his shirt, my 8-year-old was in the room. Yeah. And she goes, "Oh my." When he took off his shirt.
And you're like, Mom's busy.
And it cracked me up. And she was like, this is this. I was like, shh. Just go.
You're going to rewatch this 10 years from now and appreciate it.
Yeah. And thankfully she had left the room before I had to explain to her what Luda was singing about when he said that, he had to hold the head steady. And I was like, yep, thank you that I did not have to explain that to my 8-year-old. Why is he talking about milking cows, Mom? Would love that. I'm like, because he's a farmer. It's a farmer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely a farmer. Anyhow, like we said, it is officially baseball season, and I'm going into the season with renewed hope. Are you also going into the season with renewed hope, Kels?
Well, fuck you and your renewed hope, because the Astros didn't lose 91 games last season. But the average age of their pitching staff is also under 91 years of age. So maybe that's why I don't have renewed hope over here. Now, I should be more positive because could be worse. I think I don't know, Cardinals fans are actually usually I'm more on the positive side, but I feel like there's a lot of people who are feeling more positive than me, which is I'm not used to that. dynamic. And it's not that I'm not going to enjoy watching baseball and enjoy watching Cardinal baseball, because I absolutely am. But I am more frustrated after the kind of just complete implosion that happened last season, that there wasn't more. I really want more. I really wanted Usher to sing more too, and he didn't. But
All right.
me and Usher really want more, and we just didn't
Okay.
get it in terms of what I was looking for from the Cardinals. So am I holding my breath for a deep postseason run? No, but I am really excited that baseball is back. And fortunately, I am so invested in all of baseball now that the Cardinals, they can hurt me less. Let's at least hope for that.
That's true. That's true. You can watch the Arizona Diamondbacks with like a reckless abandon and
Hell
just,
yeah.
you know, be
Well, we
super
were just
excited
talking
about them.
about our Chinese zodiacs too, because the Chinese Lunar New Year was yesterday,
Mhm.
and my Chinese zodiac is the snake. So now I feel even more in line with the Diamondbacks.
For sure. For sure. And, you know, Corbin Carroll is doing his thing, working out, and Zach Allen with his bulldog.
He has
Did
a
you see that?
bulldog named Moose. I've
I love
always
it.
wanted to have a dog named Moose, but now I feel like I can't because Zach Allen already
Zach
did it.
because Zach
I don't
Allen
know
is
what's
gonna get
possible.
Zach Allen is gonna get wind of you having a dog named Moose. Kelsey and just be
Yeah,
like,
he might.
that's weird.
Wow, copycat.
That's so funny.
You never know.
Yeah, so you know, like I said, we're excited about the season. I'm excited about the season, and I'm excited about continuing our 40-man finds
Yes.
because I enjoy learning about all of the new players. If this is your first episode that you are tuning in, Kelsey and I do this thing called the 40-man find, where we basically find interesting guys on all of the 40-man rosters for the various teams. And Kelsey is in charge of the AL, and I'm in charge of the NL, mainly because our affinity is for our teams are of the other league. So we're just learning about, you know, the opposite leagues, guys, more so. And we were going worst to first in order of teams. And this episode's team for me for the National League is the Marlins. And I was not aware that the Marlins and the Diamondbacks had the same record.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Knowing how things
You
played
know.
out, that
Mhm.
is really interesting to think about.
Yes. Yep. And so the only thing that apparently differentiated the Marlins and the Diamondbacks was run differential. And I am going to tell you guys all about this. So if you already know what the definition of run differential is, then I don't know, skip 15 seconds or whatnot. But if not, open your ears up because I'm about to tell you what the definition of run differential is. So a team's run differential is determined by subtracting the total number of runs, both earned and unearned, it has allowed from the number of runs it has scored. For example, the 2016 Chicago Cubs scored 808 runs during the regular season and allowed 556 runs, giving them a run differential of positive 252. The 2018 Baltimore Orioles, meanwhile, scored 622 runs as a team, but surrendered 892. Their run differential was minus or negative 270. So typically, if you have a negative run differential, it's not signs of a good team.
Yeah.
Normally. As an outlier, both the Marlins and the D-backs had negative run differentials. So again, equal record, tied record, but the Marlins run differential was minus 57. So still not great. Not great.
They won a lot of one-run games, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like an easy thing to look for with teams that still had winning records or got into the playoffs with negative run differentials, is that they
Mm-hmm.
probably won a lot of close games.
Yes. So my 40-man find for the Miami Marlins is a guy that you may or may not have heard of. because he has not played a major league game just yet. His name is Victor Mesa Jr. He is a left-handed center fielder that is 22 years old, and he signed in 2018 for $1 million. If you are thinking, Susie, Victor Mesa Jr., that name kind of sounds familiar, but I don't think he was a center fielder, not the one that I remember. You would be correct, because guess what? His older brother, also named Victor Mesa. Victor Mesa. And to make matters even more confusing, the Marlins signed both of them.
Yes.
Signed both Victor Mesa and Victor Mesa Jr. And they added Victor Mesa Jr. to the 40-man roster in November to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. So that means basically they didn't want anybody else to be able to pick him up, any of the other teams. He is Miami's number 6 prospect, and he spent all of 2023 in the Double-A system, the Pensacola somethings. I wrote it down, and I no longer can read my own handwriting, so YouTube comments, fill it in for me, please. He hit, in 123 games played, he hit 242. Kelsey, are you prepared? A 720 on-base percentage. 720. 720.
Okay.
I was like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah.
Okay,
720.
Victor Jr.
Uh-huh. With a 412 slug. He hit 18 home runs, 24 doubles, and 76 RBIs. He had 73 runs scored, and he had 16 of 19 stolen bases.
Nice.
So he can run a little bit. Yeah. So like I said, he signed in 2018 for $1 million with the Miami Marlins. And the Marlins are just putting all of their eggs into that Mesa's basket, because older brother Mesa just literally up and left after they paid him like $6.25 million. So hopefully he will be the answer for center field for them, hopefully, because Jazz Chisholm Jr., we love you. You are flashy. Center fielder, you are not, sir. Center fielder, you are not. So hopefully, I think they're trying to figure out in spring training like what his role will actually be. So who knows? You may actually see Victor Mesa Jr., not to be confused with Victor Mesa, in the coming season for the Miami Marlins.
I think so. They've been awfully quiet this offseason, and it does seem like he is the kind of guy who's going to get a chance with the Marlins in the upcoming season.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So, Kelsey, who is your 40-man find for your team?
Yeah, I am keeping up with the Seattle Mariners today. And when we talk about the Mariners, their young pitching staff is always a highlight. And that is one of the players that we're going to highlight today is young Brian Wu, who was born on January 30th of 2000. So just had his 24th birthday. Happy belated, Brian. He attended Alameda High School in Alameda, California, where he grew up. He played on their baseball team there. Shocker. As a senior in 2018. Yeah, he was a senior in high school in 2018. He went 8-2 with a 1.25 ERA, and he hit 422. So he could also really hit.
Okay, Shohei.
As not so long ago in 2018.
Right?
In the summer after high school, he played for the Alaska Baseball League with the Peninsula Oilers. I don't think I knew there was an Alaska Baseball League.
I don't think I did either.
After high school, he enrolled at California Polytechnic State University to play college baseball for the Cal Poly Mustangs. And as a freshman in 2019, he pitched to an 8.75 ERA over 23 and 2/3 innings. This is what's really interesting, as you'll continue to hear me spill out some numbers here on Brian Wu, is he's like a raw stuff guy who certainly like his advanced metrics are showing you his potential. And that's why like he wasn't putting up numbers is from the basic statistics that you're going to be like, ooh, stars in your eyes, get this guy up to the bigs. But that's kind of what makes him interesting, and certainly what makes him fit into today's game a bit more than, he might have 20 or so years ago. But he pitched only 17 and 2/3 innings in 2020 before the college baseball season was canceled due to the pandemic. And in that season, he had a 6.11 ERA over 28 innings before undergoing Tommy John surgery and missing the rest of the year in 2021. So he has Tommy John surgery. He doesn't go back to playing college ball because he is selected by the Seattle Mariners in the 6th round with the 174th overall selection in the 2021 Major League Baseball draft. Because again, the stuff speaks. People are looking at it. And especially people like the Mariners system are saying, we want that. He signed with the Mariners for $318,000. He made his professional debut in 2022 with the Arizona Complex League Mariners, and he was promoted to the Modesto Nuts and the Everett Aqua Sox during the season. Over 16 starts for the season between those three clubs, he posted a 1-4 record with a 4.11 ERA, but he had 84 strikeouts over 57 innings. He's your swing and miss guy. He was selected to play in the Arizona Fall League for the Peoria Javelinas. Javelinas? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
A cactus?
It is. No, that's a saguaro. The Javelinas is a sort of like wild boar type.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's a tusked.
I see their logo.
Mm-hmm.
They got some big teeth coming up there. It looks like, scary gray pig with scary teeth. Anyway, the Peoria Javelinas. After that 2022 season. So the beginning of 2023 comes and Woo is assigned to the Arkansas Travelers. In 9 starts there in AA, he registers a 3-2 record with a 2.05 ERA with 59 strikeouts and 44 innings pitched. So he's starting to figure some shit out. On June 2nd of 2023, the Mariners announced that Woo would be promoted to the major leagues for the first time, and he was going to start the next day against the Texas Rangers. A cool story that you can find on Brian Woo's social media is that on the 4th of July, Brian's 93-year-old grandfather got to see him pitch professionally for the first time. There was a super cute picture of him and his grandparents and his parents and his sister after that start on the field at T-Mobile Park, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
It's adorable.
Yeah. In 2023, he made 18 starts. He had a win-loss record of 4-5 with a 4.21 ERA with 93 strikeouts and 87.2 innings. He finished the season with a 1.231 WHIP, which is walks and hits versus innings pitched. So for context with that stat, it's a pretty standard pitching stat. 1.2 is like above average. 1.3 would be average. So he's hanging there, above average with his WHIP already. He is one of those guys, again, like I mentioned, that basic metrics are not particularly like super impressive. He's also 23 and just got called up to the big leagues and made 18 starts in his first freaking season when he's 23 years old. But considering his raw stuff, it's easy to see for pitching development, especially in a system like the Mariners, that it's a matter of making little tweaks, working with the command and the control at the major league level, which he has already shown the ability to do. So when looking at his advanced metrics on Baseball Savant, there is a whole lot of red, which means that he is on the great side of average from everything to expected ERA and expected opponent batting average to fastball velo and average exit velocity. He has it all figured out with a four-seam fastball, which he uses nearly 50% of the time. He has a sinker that he uses 25% of the time. So if he can lock it in more with control on the secondary stuff, watch out. And that's why I'm excited to watch him this coming season. He also has a cutter, slider, and a changeup. Jerry DePito of the Mariners has said that they are unlikely to trade Woo or their other young starting pitcher, Miller, as the Mariners are pursuing, offensive upgrades. We know they have pretty solid pitching. And he says that even as teams are constantly inquiring about their young pitching depth, and Brian Woo in particular they're going to hold on to him. DeVito is quoted saying, "It's the appeal of the young guy who has proven the ability to both compete at the major league level and help neutralize the growing payrolls around the league. We know that's important to the Mariners." That's appealing. It's hard to get to. And there's a reason why we get so many phone calls. And there's a reason why we love the guys the way we do. They're good and they've performed since the day they stepped on a major league field. So Bryan Woo is going to slot in as the 5th starter for the Mariners in 2024. I don't know. Do you think the Mariners are going to be competitive enough to not have to move one of these guys who could have a really high asking price?
Mariners fans, if you're out there and you're listening to this, cover your ears. I don't think you're out there, but you may be. I don't know. Honestly, the Mariners pitching staff is their strong suit. Their pitching staff, their bullpen, in and of itself. Their lineup is still a little bit weak. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
And also, did I have Bryan Woo and Bryce Miller in my fantasy lineups at times? Absolutely, I did. However, it was their first season in the bigs, so hadn't had looks. Players hadn't had looks at them. I'm just saying that maybe we regress to the mean just a little bit now.
Sure.
With a full season of playing time, but we'll see. They did have some nasty stuff though. Like, I remember watching some of those starts being like, I'm sorry, you're 22? What's going on here? But then again, I did watch a couple of blow-up starts by Bryan Woo and was like,
sure.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely 22. Yeah. So, but that pitching staff is so good. And I hate to actually admit that from my Homer Astros heart, but they really are. They really are.
He is just the kind of pitcher that I would have loved to see the Cardinals target. Yes, he is a number 4 or 5 pitcher with where he's at in his development, but he has the potential to be a 2 or 3 even in this upcoming season. And it's just the opposite of the way that they went. They were like, let's go with the 36, 37-year-olds that were at their best, maybe a 3, have certainly regressed, but they would just rather take it's both come with a certain level of risk. And I just want them to take the opposite risk for once when it comes to starting pitching. Yeah. So it's interesting that we're talking about the Mariners and the Marlins on the same day, because in a lot of ways they are similar and their pitching is certainly their strength. It will be interesting to see if their offense can keep up and make their teams competitive in this season.
Yep. Yeah, we shall see. Selfishly, I'm hoping that, Bryan Woo doesn't have a bounce back here, just selfishly, for, no other reasons at all, because I'm a petty bitch. That's really the only reason. But, honestly, that whoever their pitching coach is over there, is doing obviously a wonderful job, because that bullpen, starting pitching, all good things. That hurts my soul to say, guys. I want you to know this. So, Mariners fans, clip that. So, anyways, but the hot stove was stoving a little bit more, this week. We still haven't had the big moves that we thought that we were going to have.
Waiting on so much. It is crazy. Like, I keep forgetting because I just can't believe that it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. So Cody Bellinger hasn't signed. Jordan Montgomery hasn't signed. Blake Snell, JD Martinez,
Matt Chapman,
Tommy Pham, Tony Pham. Tony Pham is his lesser known cousin.
So many.
Like
Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So Artie Moreno.
Yeah. Ryan Stanek. Where's Ryan Stanek going? I don't even know. But pitchers and pitchers and catchers report, like, spring training starts like next Monday. Not in tomorrow, but like the other Monday. I
think the majority of pitchers and catchers are reporting on Valentine's Day on Thursday,
on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So guys, it's coming down to the wire here, but obviously Scott Boras is like, I got a plan, guys. Stick with me. I don't know. Even some of the non-Boras guys are like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's affecting all of the teams and all
Mhm.
of the agents and players, and unfortunately, I think it's affecting the lower level free agents as much, if not more, than Blake Snell's gonna get paid. We get it, but
Yep.
there's always these players every year that are like, do I have a job? Period. And then do I have a major league job? Do I have an invite to camp? Like, I need to show up and make the most of every day, of every hour that I can get
Mhm.
at spring
Yep.
training. So I don't like it for that reason.
Yeah. I don't know. Scott Boras is doing his thing apparently. I don't know what Scott Boras
I'm
is
thinking
doing,
about
but
writing a love song, the same way that I rewrote Let It Snow
uh-huh.
to be Wake Up Mo for Christmas. I'm thinking about doing a Valentine song, but I can't decide if I should do it from the fans to Scott Boras or from the players to Scott Boras. But I'm gonna rewrite a love song about
I
this.
think it needs to be the fans to Scott Boras.
Okay. Okay.
I think it
So
needs
if
to be
you
fans
have
to Boras,
words,
yeah.
if you have lyrics that you would like me to put into a song for this
Oh,
upcoming holiday, just drop them in the comments. I'll
yeah.
work it in.
Definitely do that. I will think of some stuff too.
Have you,
Anyways.
you've heard the song Unchained's melody? It's like the most iconic
Uh-huh.
love
Yes.
song of all time. But have you heard Unsigned melody? Maybe
Ooh.
we'll see if we can make that work. I make no promises. I haven't actually planned this out yet, but
Oh,
there I
that's
said it.
uh, look at you coming up with stuff on the fly. Like, love that. Go Kels. But I don't know what Scott Boras is doing, but apparently one client of Scott Boris's that did know what he wanted and what he was doing was our short king. I say our short king because I have the mouse in my pocket. Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve will be an Astro for life and signed a 5-year, $125 million extension for the none other than Houston Astros, obviously. Um, I was not aware that I was going to get so emotional seeing the the post that the Houston Astros put up. Now, mind you, the Houston Astros just tweeted out a picture of Jose Altuve that said Astro for life. That's all they put out.
Yeah.
Okay? With no context, none of it. And I'm freaking out. And I'm all, what does this mean? Like, and I literally like quote tweeted it and was all, what does it mean? Did he sign an extension? Like, I assume it's an extension, but like, what the fuck are the details? I need details, people. Let's go. And then, like 2 minutes later, Chandler Rome tweets out the details, 5 years, 125 million, blah, blah, blah. But people were like, you're a stupid fucking bitch. When I had tweeted out like the original, like, what does it mean? I'm all, like, literally, I'm like, did you know that he signed a fucking extension? Like, what are you doing? And so I was like, whatever. I'm like, my short king is an Astro for life. Like, you can't get me down. Um, and I got a little bit emotional about it. And I wasn't prepared for that because, well, I've always liked Jose Altuve. Like, I love him, but I don't like, he's not my absolute favorite player.
Sure.
And then after the press conference and listening to him, I was like, nope, fisticuff time. Like, anybody says anything about my short king, like, it is, I will run through a wall for this man. Like, we will need bail money this season when people boo him, because there is just absolutely no reason to dislike this man. Like, when you literally listen to his story coming up from Venezuela as, like a 16-year-old, and they're like, you're too small, go away. And he's like, listen, just give me a chance. That's all I want is a chance. And then coming back the next day, and the guy's like, I got like $15,000. Like, if you want to sign for $15,000, you can have it, but odds are. And then it came out that the Astros told him that he was just basically a placeholder until they found a better second baseman.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? But at every single turn, like he has shown that he is going to take all of that and like internalize it and be like, fuck you, I'm going to be better than that.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in time have I ever heard Jose Altuve like utter like a mean word over anything. And so that fuck you is like me speaking. That's not Jose Altuve speaking, like at all. I don't want you to put words into his mouth, okay, people? But they did like a little story about like how he like was raised and stuff, and he's like, yeah, he's like, see that river? We would go down to that river and take baths. And, like that was our shower. And I'm all,
Wow.
and again, like as an American, like a spoiled American that has running water in our house, like you don't even, that's not even a thing that you think of,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of Latin players, like they don't have running water in their houses, and so it just, I was like, I will fight anybody that says anything mean about Jose Altuve. I just want you to know this. So everybody prepare their bail money because I'm gonna probably need it. But I'm so excited that he's going to be an Astro for life. And everyone's like, wait, $125 million for a 34-year-old player that's like on the downhill like decline. I'm all, again, people, I will fight you. Absolutely. Yes. Like he hasn't slowed down. He really hasn't. I won't give you the numbers because I don't have them prepared, but just know that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame and his literal OPS has like not fallen below 120, I think, for the last like 5 seasons.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So,
It's awesome that we were just talking about this with Jay Hay last week about how he's on the Hall of Fame trajectory. And I agree, as someone who has never had a vested interest in his success, from an outside perspective, he's an easy guy to root for. I've never held anything against him. And it's interesting how obvious it is to me that like that 2017 situation just like shouldn't be anything that is even a mark on his career at this point.
Yep. Yeah. And the fact that he literally has come out and be like, nope, we're a team and I'm not going to place myself above the team. Like we're a team. We're all wrong. When it has been proven that he never did it, like he never wanted to use it. And I'm all, stop booing my short king. Like it hurts me. It literally hurts my soul. But then he like hits a home run every time and I'm all,
and that's why they boo
this is what
him.
it
It's
is.
the same
Yeah.
way that so many fan bases would boo Yadi or Molina because they know that he's a difference maker and he's not on their team. So
yes, and he will never be on any other team, and that makes me so happy. My short king, Jose Altuve.
it's the way the baseball gods intended it. That was my
Yes.
first and exact thought. Another thing the baseball gods definitely intended was for Clayton Kershaw to play baseball again and to do it in a Dodgers uniform. So Clayton Kershaw signs to return with the Dodgers for $10 million guaranteed player option for 2025. Based on how many starts he ends up making, the deal could be worth up to $12 million. And we've talked about this in previous episodes as well. Another thing that just as baseball fans we want to see is Clayton Kershaw come back and start again. And I mean, all of the obstacles that he's had to go through. He had surgery again and chose to come back at all, let alone to come back with the Dodgers. But I know that we're all glad as baseball fans to not have that last outing of the postseason be the last outing of his major league career.
That would have been possibly like the saddest ending to a literal Hall of Fame career ever.
Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, and I want to say his ERA still at like a 2.62 or something, or maybe it's in the low threes now, but like overall career ERA is super low, even with all of like the blow up starts. And so just the fact that like hopefully he can come back and like end on a high note, like that would be great.
Yeah, his career
not against
ERA
the Astros, but like against some other team.
His career ERA is 2.48.
That's so dumb. His career ERA, wow.
But his postseason ERA is 4.49, and that's what people get hung up on. That's the thing is like honestly, the majority of his bad starts have been in the postseason.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really thinking, especially like this season, that the Dodgers have signed 43 starting pitchers and like a bunch
Mhm.
of like bullpen arms that could get stretched out into starters. I think by the time Clayton Kershaw got to the postseason, I think
Yes.
he was just tired, you know? Like
Yes.
he's getting up there in
Yeah.
age.
I don't think it's like a pressure issue with
Yeah.
him or like a, he's not meeting the moment kind of thing. I totally agree.
So, he's not gonna be he's gonna be well rested for the postseason run that the Dodgers inevitably make this season. And so, but question then, if when Clayton Kershaw comes back and is like good to go, is he your game one starter
Oh, no.
for an
Hell no.
LCS or like a
I mean, does he start in a series at all is a fair question with how it just depends on the matchups and, like, what the situation is.
okay?
I I don't know.
Because
But no,
they're I
he's
mean, because they're
definitely not. I guess but then you're also like, he could be the game 1 starter because that's when you have the most room for margin for error,
error,
I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah. I mean, because
We'll see.
they're gonna be limiting Tyler Glasnow's innings, they're gonna be limiting Walker Bueller's innings. We don't know how, Yoshinobu Yamamoto's gonna
Yeah.
go, so, like, they may have to they may have to use Clayton Kershaw as a game one starter. But that was just a interesting, like, little side note there, because I I don't think Clayton Kershaw would be one of those players to be like, I have seniority, I'm gonna be the game one starter, you know what I'm saying? Because
I
I
think
feel like there's
yeah.
some older starters out there that would be like, "No, no, it's me. I'm game one starter."
Yeah, I think with everything that he's been through as of late, he probably has a wise enough perspective to not take that
Mhm.
attitude with it, but he also wants to. And
Yeah,
those are the guys that you want on your team and have or even have the capability of having these kind of careers are the guys that want to go out there and be able to do it even if they know they're not the best choice. So that is not a conversation I would be wanting to have with
right.
Clayton Kershaw by any means, but I agree with you. Like, he's obviously gonna want what's best for the team, and it's gotta be a really difficult thing for all players when they get to that point in their career, but that is the nature of being a professional athlete is the highs and lows and the natural regression with age, and fortunately, he is he has played up until this point and had an insane amount of success and a legendary career to be really proud
Yep,
of, and hopefully he can have some more big moments and give the fans and himself just, more of a high note to go out on.
for sure, for sure. So, like we said, the Dodgers signed 43 starting pitchers and relief pitchers, and they re-signed another relief pitcher in Ryan Brazier, 2 years, $9 million. In 39 appearances out of the bullpen, Ryan Brazier had a sparkling .70 ERA and 38 strikeouts. He finished the season, excuse me, overall with a 3.29 ERA in 52 and two-third innings after 20 appearances with Boston, in which he posted a 7.29 ERA.
Yeah, so, like,
It
he
cracked me
came to
up.
the Dodgers and was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, now I can pitch."
Uh-huh. The and I want to say Boston DFA'd him. They were like,
I think so.
"Nope, Ryan Brazier, we can't continue this." And then when the Dodgers picked him up last season, I was like, "Watch, there, he's going to be awesome for the Dodgers. You watch." So when the Dodgers picked him up, and then like when the Rays pick up relief pitchers as well, either one of those clubs, it's done. It's done. Like you probably it's you. It's not them.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yes, pitchers seem to be more apt to the kind of adjustments that the right environment and the right coaches can help them make, and I'm sure that makes sense given the nuance and the art of pitching, but more than like the
Mhm.
position players. And that's just another thing when we were talking about the Marlins and the Mariners that their organizations do very well too, from scouting to developing. And yeah,
Yep.
the Dodgers are in on that shit too. We know they are.
Yeah. So, yep, Brazier led the MLB in opponent OPS in 397 and finished second in WHIP, 0.72, and fourth in opponent's batting average, 0.140. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, Ryan Brazier doing the things for the Dodgers, and Boston's like, the fuck, you couldn't do that over here. And Ryan Brazier's like, apparently not. I don't know. But like we said, we were talking about the Marlins earlier. Marlins acquired shortstop Nick Gordon from the Twins for left-handed pitcher Steven Okert. So
this just
really,
happened.
what really cracked me up is Nick Gordon lost his arbitration case against the Twins, and the Twins were like, "Oh, you wanted more money? Absolutely not. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna trade you."
Yeah.
I was like, dang. But apparently, this is the Marlins' first major league move. All of the moves that they have made in the offseason have been minor league moves, and I'm all, what are we doing, Marlins? What's happening over there? But Gordon is 28 years old and plays second and short. He hit 185 last season with 2 homers and 7 RBIs in 34 games, down from 272 with 9 homers and 50 ribbies over 136 games in 2022. He fractured his shin when fouled off a pitch on May 17th versus the Dodgers and didn't play again until mid-September. Gordon was awarded a $900,000 salary on Saturday rather than his requested $1.25 million. He is the brother of former Marlin D. Strange Gordon and the son of former All-Star pitcher Tom Gordon.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No idea.
Side note, I heard an interview that D had done with some podcast, and he begrudgingly said that Nick was the better baseball player than him. Mm-hmm. And D was like, but like he had someone to iron out all of the bumps in the road, right?
Okay,
like I had to go first, and like, and so it really cracked me up. But the fact that like the older brother was giving him his flowers, I was like, oh, all right, look at you. So Steven Okert is 32 and had a 3.2 record with a 4.45 ERA and 64 relief appearances last year for the Marlins, striking out 73 and walking 24 in 58 and 2/3 innings while allowing 9 home runs. So Twins get some pitching help, but I'm very confused at why the Twins needed pitching help because their bullpen was kind of set already.
They're just loading up their bullpen and nothing else. I'm so confused.
I don't know. I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But who knows what the Twins are doing?
We also don't know what the Brewers are doing because they signed another starting pitcher too, which I get like fine, but it's not like for nothing. They signed right-handed pitcher Jacob Junis, or is it Junis? Do you know?
Mm-hmm. I think it's Junis.
Junis, I think so. Jacob Junis. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
Yeah.
Phonetically spell it out for me. Anyway, he signs with the Brewers for 1 year, $7 million. It's kind of interesting the way this is laid out. He's going to receive $4 million in 2024 with a $3 million buyout for a mutual option in 2025. So, yeah, kind of interesting that much of it is included as part of the buyout, but he'll take it for a guaranteed $7 million. In 40 games, he made just 4 starts in those 40 games. Last season, he threw 86 innings with a 3.87 ERA. He had a 5.7% walk rate, which is pretty damn good, and a career high 26% strikeout rate last season. So nothing to scoff at in terms of especially in terms of how he's going to slot right into the Brewers' current starting rotation. I mean, I assume he's going to start. You think?
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Probably that 4 or 5 slot. Not overly familiar with the Brewers rotation now that everyone has gone.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone really is. But the point is they're not totally throwing it away. And it honestly just pisses me off even more because why should they? The other teams in the division are not solid, are not shoe-in like dominant enough for them to just completely give up and save
Exactly.
all their money. So, all right, Brewers, I see you.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? what they're doing, because I was like, oh, so we gave Corbin Burns away, but we signed Reese Hoskins. Like,
Right.
what?
Right. Even
Why?
Corbin Burns said that he was like thrown off by that. So again, there's a lot of these teams where it's really clear like the writing is on the wall, but with some of them, and you never know, it doesn't, all the moves that they make don't necessarily correlate to even their plan for 2024 or
Yeah.
what we think their plan should be for 2024. But another kind of interesting starting rotation speculation is for the Blue Jays, who signed Cuban right-handed pitcher Yariel Rodriguez for 5 years, $32 million. And he's been a really interesting one in the international market because he hasn't pitched competitively since the 2023 WBC, where he made 2 starts for Team Cuba. He had a 2.45 ERA with 10 strikeouts and 6 walks over 7 1/3 innings in those starts in the WBC. But prior to that, he was a starter in Cuba. He transitioned to the bullpen when he started pitching in Japan. And his last competitive play prior to the WBC would have been in the 2022 season, where he pitched in Japan. He threw 54 2/3 innings with a 1.15 ERA and 60 strikeouts. So he's certainly not, as easy to kind of tell a story like Yamamoto or guys who are well established in the MPB. But he's an interesting one that could very well, I mean, he's been used as a swingman in his career. He certainly could continue to be used that way. But is Alek Manoah going to be the number 5 in the starting rotation for the Blue Jays? Or will we see Rodriguez there sometimes now?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. And we talked about him a few episodes ago. The deal has just now been like finalized because he got his visa.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So there was
Yeah,
some citizenship. Yeah, there was some citizenship things going on because he did defect from
That's right.
Cuba. And so there was some things that needed to happen, and so the deal was finally.
Oh, okay, that's right. I remember because you
legal.
were trying to explain to me how he had to go to Japan and
Mhm.
he had to go
And then
back to
yeah.
Japan, but yeah. Oof. Okay. Glad
So,
he got that figured
yeah.
out because now he's in Canada, or he will be
Yeah,
soon.
now, yep. So now he will have all of the things in Canada, and if Alek Manoah doesn't end up working out, and they can slot Yariel in, and and then if Yariel doesn't work out, back to the bullpen he goes. So, it's not really I guess it's a win-win for the Blue Jays, but I still don't know who's going to play third for them. Like,
It has to be Matt Chapman, right? Like, why? Again, another one that it's like, why is this taking so long? Because I swear that Bellinger is going to go back to the Cubs too, and
yeah.
especially, and it's probably more besides Blake Snell, probably all, and maybe JD Martinez. Like, these players are going to go back. Like the 3 biggest ones, Montgomery, Bellinger, and Chapman, are going to go back to where they were last year.
Yeah.
So why can't they just get it done? I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently they want all of the news to happen later or something. I don't even know.
Maybe instead of okay, another classic love song, Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to
Oh,
miss a
okay.
dime. Maybe I can
There you
write that.
go. Oh,
I'll
like
start working
that.
on it.
Okay. Perfect.
Here's another one.
Yeah. Did you know that Blake Snell has a twin brother?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't aware.
So cool. You have twins. I've always wanted to be a twin or have twins. I think twins are so cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe.
What's his
I don't
brother's
but
name? Do you know?
Tyler.
Are they identical?
I was trying to figure that out, and I don't think they are. And I was trying to find any pictures of them together, and I haven't found any. But apparently, he lives in Washington and is not a baseball player at all. I think last article I read said that he works in the Anheuser-Busch packing factory or something like that. I'm all,
oh, okay,
that. I was like, oh, all right. Would you would you be really on the DL about if your brother was like a Cy Young winning pitcher,
Right.
or would you
I mean, maybe
be
people
like,
might want to try to get things from you, get
yeah,
tickets from you, get autographs, you know.
yeah. So
They should do a Anheuser-Busch. If he really does work for Anheuser-Busch, they should do a Best Buds commercial with the Snell brothers.
oh, that would be great.
Come on.
Yeah, that would be
I'm just
awesome.
full
But yeah,
of creative ideas tonight.
you are songs, creative ideas. It's the whole package. The whole package.
This is what happens when football comes to an end. My
This is
mind is opened.
yeah, yep. This is true. This is true. Another thing that happened though, the Rays extended some front office peoples.
Oh, yes.
Yep,
Yes,
the
they did.
Rays extended Eric Neander and Kevin Cash, and they received multi-year contract extensions. Terms of their deal were not disclosed, but they are expected to run beyond Tampa Bay's anticipated move into a new ballpark in 2028.
Ooh, yeah.
So, yeah, there was some urgency to get a deal done with Cash, who had a 1 year and a club option remaining on the previous extension he signed after the 2018 season. Because Cash's initial contract with the Rays was for 5 years, and his first extension covered 6 guaranteed seasons. So apparently they like Kevin Cash, and Eric Neander's doing an awesome job over there, just doing the Rays money ball and being a pitching factory and doing all the things. So the Rays are going to have their front office people there for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can't argue with that.
Fun fact, Kels, as we segue into this next story, Corey Kluber announces his retirement. When everyone was talking about Corey Kluber and giving stats about Corey Kluber, who apparently was super awesome. I'm sorry.
Madison Bumgarner moment for you.
A whole other. You mean to tell me Corey Kluber, who was pitching for the Red Sox and had like a 7 ERA was good? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, he had a 7.04 ERA last season with 9 starts and 6 relief appearances for the Red Sox. Maybe it was the Red Sox though. But who knows? Maybe. They wouldn't take responsibility for it. They declined his $11 million club option. Therefore, it's time for Kluber to retire. But yeah, you didn't know Corey Kluber was a 2-time Cy Young Award winner for the then Cleveland Indians, and he pitched a no-hitter for the New York Yankees in 2021. But I mean, this is the way that it happens more often than not. He had that season that he had last season, and yeah, I mean, I want to say that he had 5 seasons in a row where he was Cy Young level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that, like, right now, anyway, that's not like long enough to be considered, Hall of Fame or, even there's a lot of guys that you would name off the top of your head that you would say like had better careers than that. But I am interested to see like 20 years from now what the perspective on a career like his is, because that's one of the things that happens in baseball is like how statistics evolve with how the game evolves. And are we going to have as many guys who have 5 seasons of being dominant starting pitchers? Like, that still seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
So certainly not something to scoff at. He's 37 years old as he announces his retirement this past Friday. His career numbers, he's got 116 wins versus 77 career losses, a 3.44 ERA, and 260 starts and 11 relief appearances over his career. He has 1,725 strikeouts and 368 walks over 1,641 and 2/3 innings. So more strikeouts than innings.
A lot more strikeouts. Yeah.
Yeah. 3-time All-Star. He has pitched 18 complete games, including 8 shutouts. Badass. He was nicknamed Klubot. Did you know that? Did you ever hear about that?
I listened to the Jared Carrabis, name redacted Boston Red Sox podcast, and they would always refer to him as Kluber. And I never understood why, because obviously I don't watch a lot of Boston Red Sox games when Corey Kluber is on the mound.
Right.
And so like I had no idea. And then friend of the show, Jessica Kleinschmidt, posted his reaction to winning the Cy Young. That may have been tongue in cheek, but she posted a GIF of what she said,
Yeah.
his reaction to winning Cy Young, and there was nothing. There was no reaction. And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? This is why they call him the Klubot?" And apparently, yes. Apparently, he is a very, I don't want to say emotionless, but he hides his emotion very well.
Reserved. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so good on you, Corey Kluber. Good on you.
I feel like a lot of those pitchers are. That's always something that, I mean, it's something that you have to learn to do one way or the other, whether you're feeling it or not, to at least keep it in check on the outside. And that's certainly contributed to his success. But yes, he is taken that to kind of an extreme level. But congrats, Corey Kluber, on amazing career. Hopefully you can sit back, relax, enjoy an amazing career, and maybe, smile a little more in retirement. It's time to just let it
Maybe,
loose.
yeah, right? Play some golf? I don't know. Does he play golf?
That's what baseball players do in retirement, right? So
Yes, yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah. Except for Madison Bumgarner, who's a bull rider.
Yeah, who's busy roping bulls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you know that you could get suspended for putting people on the Phantom IL?
Well, I know that it's not a thing that you're supposed to do, but I also know that it's a thing that everyone
Everybody
does,
does.
right? So that's kind of
Yeah.
weird. I'm like, who did he piss off? Who did Billy Epler piss off? Why is he being made an example of? Because I don't know that I would have thought this much into it, but I did listen to the guys at Foul Territory talk about this to the point where I started to get like conspiracy theory about it. And I was like, wait, this is so, I think it was Scott Braun that said, this is like so not a story that it's a story. And that's what made me like get all paranoid about it and be like, so yeah, so what's really going on here?
Yeah.
Because I guess long
So
story short, he has been suspended through the 2024 World Series. We'll see if that sticks, because of course he can appeal for it. But because he like misused the injured list and like knowingly put people on the injured list who are not actually injured, and apparently no one else in the organization had anything to do with this at all. They didn't know about it or not culpable. It was just Billy, bad Billy, all on his lonesome. So he needs to sit out, even though he's not working for a major league team in 2024 anyway.
Yeah. So my conspiracy theory hot take is that someone lost a lot of money
Ooh, yeah.
as they were gambling, and someone got put on the IL that I guess whoever was gambling expected to be in the game. So if I had time and if my ADHD brain would let me remember this at some point in time, I would go back and like look at all of the pitchers who got put on the IL that would like affect a game somehow. Because like really, like who else would it be? Like Pete Alonso?
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor?
It's probably the most common with pitchers.
Yeah.
Especially, there's just so many reasons why it would be useful, I could see.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that someone lost a lot of money on a start that they thought said pitcher was supposed to start and didn't end up starting. That's like the only thing that my mind can think of that this would be a thing. Because I mean, we like, even I, as a baby novice baseball knowing person, I think like my first season was like, dude, he's tired. Just put him on the Phantom IL for like 10 days and just be like, rest his arm. We don't need,
who's
like,
to say there he
like,
doesn't need a break.
We're 10 games ahead. It's fine. He doesn't need to pitch right now. Like, what are we doing? And I thought that was a thing. I thought that was a thing that everybody did, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. Apparently only Billy Epler did it. And only Billy Epler is
it was solely up to him.
Yeah. I don't know.
Trainers didn't have to sign off on it.
Nope.
Doctors never looked. Nobody.
No.
Steve Cohen just, spend my money however you want to. He probably did say that, but yeah, I don't know. It's sketch. It's sus, as the kids would say.
Yeah. Another thing that's sus, though, else is the Boston Red Sox having a Netflix documentary made about the 2024 team.
I guess we didn't talk about this last week, did we? I guess it hadn't come out yet. Yeah, no, it's very weird. Not like they're a very storied franchise, and I do think that we don't always give them enough credit for the success that they have had in the postseason over the past, 20 years. But enough to that this is the way we're going to grow the game. Like right now, we're going to make a Netflix documentary following the 2024 Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. That's not even going to be aired until 2025.
Yeah,
so it's not even like an ongoing thing.
I mean, okay, so it's the 20-year anniversary of them like breaking the curse, right? So maybe that's. But you think they would have like lined up with the team and been like, so it's let's get hype, let's put some more money into this, let's go full throttle, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. So again, my full throttle conspiracy theory is that they need eyeballs on this Netflix documentary, and they need some starting pitching, so they're gonna go out and sign Trevor Bauer, and that will be the hot take. Trevor Bauer to the Boston Red Sox for this Netflix documentary.
Well, I'm gonna have to cancel my Netflix subscription too, as well as canceling the Boston Red Sox. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah. So apparently there is no money changing hands. But like the Boston Red Sox organization, owners, players, nobody is getting paid for this. They apparently it has come out that it is solely to grow the game, according to the marketing chairperson, Alex something or another.
So what's really in it for you? Red Sox?
Trevor Bauer to the Red Sox.
No, do not even say his name. To be clear, there have not been whispers. No Major League Baseball executives will even speak his name. It's not happening. He's not going to play in Major League Baseball again. But Susie's here for the conspiracy theories. So I get where you're coming from.
Jonathan Papelbon is out here tweeting like that he is going to pay. He himself, Jonathan Papelbon, is going to pay for Trevor Bauer's minimum salary.
Yeah, I think again it's only more ridiculous because you couldn't pay a Major League Baseball team to put him on their team.
Although Jonathan Papelbon is doing some announcing for the Boston Red Sox this season, like actual announcing, like in the booth, which is crazy to me. I'm all, how are you going to give that man a fucking microphone on like actual live air? That broadcast better be highly delayed, or someone better have a mute button handy, because
Red Sox making all kinds of interesting decisions that, again, we just can't connect the dots on in 2024. I will only be watching for Tyler O'Neill in his crop tops. That's what I'm watching Boston Red Sox coverage for.
But like, who is going to be the stars of this Netflix documentary? Like Tyler O'Neill, this will be his for sure. Like Vaughn Grissom will be his for sure. Okay, like, well, they have Rafi that speaks English, kind of, doesn't really like to though. Trevor Story, like, apparently Rob Refsnyder was having a hand in this, which cracks me up because it's like Rob Refsnyder who doesn't really see any time in the field. So is he gonna be like a big part of this? I don't.
It's mostly just a bummer, right? Because this is something we as baseball fans should be really excited about. and it's what we all want is, to grow the game and for there to be the kind of access to it that there has been for, primarily the NFL, but even the NBA. But because of, where the Red Sox are as a franchise and the way that it's all coming out, it's like not exciting, and it should be. So that's a bummer.
Yeah. I don't know. So like Tristan Casas, it's your time to shine, sir. Like,
Gonna be a Netflix
get on
star,
it,
baby. You ready for your close
but
up?
I was thinking that okay, like it's gonna be kind of about the young kids, but then there's like whispers that Jaren Duran is gonna be like traded. So I don't know. Don't know. I need all the moves to be done though, so that one, we can finally talk about all the fucking teams.
Yeah.
And do the big long fucking episode where we talk about all the teams. And two, so that we can finally get the fantasy baseball leagues going. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I need. That's really what I need. So, if you are female and would like to play fantasy baseball, and if you are ever intimidated and you're like, you know what, I would like to play fantasy baseball, but I don't really know what I'm doing, let me know. Let me know, because I'm having an all female fantasy baseball league. There literally are no rules. We don't play for any money, but it's kind of like the wild, wild west out here. Like I said, no rules. And it's a lot of fun. Lots of points. So if you are a female and want to play, holler at me. Let me know.
And for as much
Slide
as
into my DMs.
I know about baseball and have followed baseball forever, I've never played fantasy baseball. So I'm going to do it. So if you've never done it before, you won't be alone.
Yeah. So last year my fantasy baseball team name was RBI'd for her pleasure, and it made me laugh. So just know when
That's the environment that you're
Yeah.
opening yourself up to. Yeah.
So we have a good time. We have a good time. Like I said, the other podcast that I do on the Top Fan Rivalry Network is PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rated R Susie over there, and my co-host Bill over there, bless him, like knows that it's PG-13 Susie over there, and he's so innocent, and I love him. But he goes, Susie, are there any holes that need to be filled, sir? And that was how he asked the question, and I was like, you can't ask me that.
Why?
You cannot ask me that, Bill. And he just looked at me like, wait, what? And he's like, oh, like, and it dawned on him, and I'm all, nope. See, you have to finish that sentence with like, are there any holes on your roster that need to be filled?
Yeah.
Like, you cannot.
More specific.
Yeah. And he's like, Susie, this is not and I was like, you knew what you were signing up for, Bill. Like, you knew. So yeah, again, this is how we roll over in the league that shall be named something. I don't know. But again, if you are a female that wants to play fantasy baseball, and doesn't mind inappropriate adult humor, hit me up. Slide into my DMs. We're gonna have a good team. We're gonna have a good team. Lots of good times. And you learn about a lot of other baseball players that are not on your favorite team, because that's really how I learned about all of the other baseball players. So
all of the balls.
All of the balls. All the balls, yes. Do we want to talk about the A's, Kels, or do we have enough time to talk about the A's? Because I don't even know.
You know what? I am really into this whole A's moving to Vegas thing. So let me dive deeper into my research and get really up to speed on it. And let's talk about it next week, because I bet you even more stuff is going to come out next week. And I don't need to get my blood pressure up. We don't need to get worked up about it to wrap things up today. But we are going to follow what's going on with the Oakland A's, and we'll keep you up to speed on that. And our first full report on some spring training action next week.
I'm very excited. So excited. So, Kels, tell the peoples where they can find you on the interwebs.
Well, they can find me on the Twitter, or the app formerly known as Twitter, at Kbird Tweets. That's KBURD Tweets. And my weekly solo podcast, Peace, Love, and Baseball, episodes come out every Tuesday. You might hear another familiar voice on this week's episode as Susie joins me along with my co-host from Babes, Jana. We did a lovely little episode about battery mates and special relationships between baseball players for Valentine's Day. So
It
cute.
was adorable.
So that will be coming out on Tuesday, day before Valentine's Day. But yeah, if you find me on Twitter, you find the link tree and you find all that good stuff.
Yes. Yep. So, a great big thank you that we have to give out to Japan, Korea, and Spain. You guys have been holding it down for us on the Apple Podcast charts, and we so appreciate that. And USA, we have been hollering at y'all to get on it. And guess what? You guys did. You did. And we're so very proud. We're so proud. Thank you so much. The first day that we charted on the USA charts, we charted at 243, 242, 43. And then I checked again the next day, and we were all the way up to 200.
Shooting up the charts.
And when you really like think about all of the baseball content that is out there for all of the different teams and all of the different creators, it's a little overwhelming, and you're like, wait, I still haven't figured out how we get on the charts. Like, I have not a clue. It's magic, some sort of black magic formula that no one is aware of. But we're just happy that we're there. And so thank you guys so very much for listening to us, giving us ratings. We love that. 5-star ratings, giving us reviews, hitting subscribe on the YouTubes, because
and if you don't want to do any of that, or like along with doing any of that, like just send this, copy the link, share it with 1 or 2 other people who like baseball content, because word of mouth, I mean, I don't know about you, Susie, but that's how I start listening to stuff, is somebody sends it to me or says like, hey, you should check this out.
Yep, for sure. And if you really, really like us, you can just set your phone to like mute and just put us on like repeat. That I'm not gonna be mad at that. So no, I'm just kidding. But really and truly though, listeners, friends, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We have had a great off season, and I'm looking forward to a great a great season. There we go. I'm like, wait a minute. And with that, I am going to hit and record, maybe, if I found my mouse. And we will see you guys later. Yay, baseball! And record.